Here's some big news. Thanjavur student suicide case has now been transferred to the CBI by the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court. Remember, a 17-year-old girl had committed suicide, claiming that the warden of her school harassed her and also allegedly pushed her to convert to Christianity. This was the message that came out soon after the girl committed suicide. The family members also claiming that the girl was pushed to convert to Christianity and she was being harassed by the school warden and therefore claimed her life. Of course, the authorities, local authorities, not looking at a conversion angle, saying that there is no conversion angle, but nonetheless, family adamant on a CBI probe, and now news coming in that the case has been transferred to the CBI by the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court. Pramod Madhav tracking the story. Pramod, give us some clarity on this. The Thanjavur suicide case, which claimed that the warden forced the girl to convert to Christianity and eventually, after much harassment, she's claimed her life. The case has now been taken up by the CBI.
Yes, Navila, and there are two developments in the case for the day. The first one is that the NCPCR team is at Thanjavur. They are holding an inquiry with the district education officer, the doctor who conducted the autopsy, the SP of Thanjavur, and also the investigation officer at that point. They are going to later meet with the parents as well. And amidst this case was heard by the Madras High Court, and the last hearing was on Friday, where Justice G.R. Swaminathan led the petitioner and the counsel for the educational institution and the PP to argue. And what has occurred is that on that day, various arguments were placed. The petitioner claimed that they do not actually believe in the police because already the police SP has said that there is no conversion angle. And not just that, the petitioner also alleged that after the first video went viral, there was another video for 2.24 minutes where the girl did not give any angle about conversion at all. So the petitioner claimed that it was allegedly released by the police trying to change the investigations method, and this is why they demanded a CBI. Now, earlier in the court, they sought CBCID investigation, but after BJP protest and just like the BJP President Annamalai demanded a CBI protest, the petitioner sought a CBI investigation into the matter. And this is when the judge, after hearing the petition where the petitioners and various other counsels, he reserved the order that day. And right now, it has been announced that the Madras High Court Madurai bench has transferred the case to CBI.
Pramod, stay with us. We, in fact, have the dying declaration of that girl. I'm going to play that out to you.
நான் கரெக்டாக இருந்தாலும் தப்புன்னு சொல்லி ஒரு கணக்கு ஒரு மணி நேரம் உட்கார வச்சுருவாங்க. நான் படிக்கிறேன், கான்சன்ட்ரேஷன் பண்ணுறேன். என்னால் மார்க் கம்மியாக எடுத்துகிட்டே இப்படியே போயிட்டு இருந்தால் படிக்க முடியாதுன்னு நினச்சிட்டேன்.
உன்னை ஸ்கூலில் பொட்டு வைக்கக்கூடாது அந்த மாதிரிலாம் தான் சொல்லுவாங்களா? சரி, வேற பொங்கலுக்கு ஊருக்கு வந்தியா?
அப்பெல்லாம் கேட்டால் நீ படிக்கணும் இங்கே அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. சொல்லி என்னை அங்கேயே இருக்க வச்சுருவாங்க.
இப்போ பொங்கலுக்கு கூட ஊருக்கு வரலையா?
பொங்கலுக்கு இப்போ உடம்பு சரியில்லைன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க.
நீங்கள் மருந்து சாப்பிட்டது வந்து அவங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா? அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது.
All right, Pramod, if you heard that, very unfortunate that girl eventually succumbed right after speaking to the police after consuming poison. She's even spoken in her dying declaration saying how the warden had harassed her through and through, but never really spoke of a conversion angle herself there. How did this come about?
Absolutely. Well, Nabila, there are actually 4 different videos of dying declaration from the girl. The first one was a 44-second video which was released on social media by BJP President Annamalai, and he demanded justice, claiming that the girl has died because of forced religious conversion allegations. However, this is a 2.24-minute video where she is saying that she was subjected to torture by the warden, tortures like making her write accounts, take care of the daily chores of the hostel, which did not lead her to study well, and that's why she became depressed. This is what she says. In fact, the person who recorded the video, Muthuveli, is also asking her whether she was allowed to project religious identities like placing a bindi, for which she says nothing like that. There was no kind of pressure that way. So that became a contention because based on this video, the parties allying with DMK started saying that BJP is trying to cause religious disharmony, and this became an issue in the state of Tamil Nadu as well, as there is a kind of diversion between BJP and DMK allied parties.
We understand, Pramod, but nonetheless, as much as the government wants to brush it aside, we still have a lot more that the girl has said. I'm going to cut across to what more she said as part of her dying declaration there.
யார் கேட்டது? பேரு? ராக்கேல் மைக்கேல் மேரியா? ராக்கேல் மேரி. வேற என்ன சொன்னாங்க? யார்கிட்ட கேட்டாங்க? எப்ப கேட்டாங்க?
2 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி.
அப்ப மாறாதனால உனக்கு வந்து தொந்தரவு பண்ண.
All right, Pramod, we heard it there. The girl says that the school warden time and again asked her to convert to Christianity, and if she does so, then she will be helped with scholarships and her further studies. The girl refused to, and therefore she was tortured, scolded at, and she was subject to enough criticism from the warden which she could not bear anymore. So she said it in as many words.
But Nabila, in that 44 seconds video, the exact translation goes like this. The person, Mutawil, who's recording the video is asking the questions for which the girl, the unfortunate girl, says that she wanted to study, but the 2 years ago, the management has asked whether they could actually convert her religion. When the Mutawil asks, who did they ask to, the girl says that the people asked her parents, and this is when Mutawil asked whether is it because she did not convert to Christianity, she was subjected to such torture. That girl says irkalam, which means maybe, and this has become the issue because this is a video based on which BJP is alleging that the child has died because of forced religious conversion. For this also, the council for the education institution actually gave a confidential affidavit which it submitted to the Madras High Court Madurai bench, and there now the school is also alleging there are chances of stepmother torture that the girl has been gone through, and they claim that the girl suffered from vitiligo, and they wanted this to be probed thoroughly.
So that many angles to it, and now it appears that the CBI has taken up this case. But Pramod, do stay with us. Of course, this is a case that India Today has been very closely following up on. Is there a big bid to cover up this case, the Thanjavur minor suicide case? Sources in the National Child Rights Panel have now said that the state child protection body is now stalling the probe into the suicide of the 17-year-old girl who allegedly ended her life after being tortured by the school to convert to Christianity. Here's our India Today's detailed report.
அப்ப மாறாதனால உனக்கு வந்து தொந்தரவு பண்ண.
It's been more than 10 days since suicide of the 17-year-old girl in Tamil Nadu's Thanjavur after allegedly being forced to convert by her school. The case has now turned into a flashpoint between the Tamil Nadu government and the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Sources close to India Today revealed that the State Child Rights Commission under the DMK government is not cooperating in the probe and is reluctant to extend help to the central panel. A team of NCPCR headed by Chairperson Priyank Kanungo is probing the case and is likely to find out if the girl was under pressure to convert to Christianity. Sources in the Child Rights Panel allege the DMK government has been citing the Model Code of Conduct for civic polls and stonewalling the probe. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu BJP leaders met the family of the victim and gave 10 lakh rupees help.
In the very unfortunate issue, a 17-year-old girl committed suicide. The Bharatiya Janata Party has visited their family and we have consoled them. and we have given them a check of 10 lakh rupees, so that we are very sure it will be of help to the family. At the same time, we have assured them of complete justice, and BJP will stand with them thick and thin.
The Child Rights Panel is seeking the view of the parents of the victim and the doctors who treated her and conducted her post-mortem. Apart from speaking to the minor's classmates, school authorities and eyewitnesses.
அப்புறமா எழுதி தரேன்னு சொன்னாலும் கேட்கவே மாட்டாங்க. பரவாயில்ல, எழுதி கொடுத்துட்டு வேலையை பாரு, நான் கரெக்டாக இருந்தாலும் தப்புன்னு சொல்லி இப்படியே போயிட்டு இருந்தாலும் படிக்க முடியாத நினைச்சேன்.
This video of the Thanjavur student who ended her life on January 19th had brought a whole new angle in the case. In the video, the student says she was targeted and harassed constantly by the warden and was tortured to convert into Christianity. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, there you heard it. Let me quickly cut across to our reporters tracking this story. Pramod, of course, bringing us all those developments from Chennai, but Akshita there, giving us an insight and a perspective into this case. Akshita, the Thanjavur minor girl suicide case has really taken a political spin here. So many angles that are now coming to fore. One of that is religious conversion, which the BJP is targeting the DMK government, saying that this is the angle which the government ideally should be probing, but they're trying to brush it under the carpet. What more do we know as the CBI takes up this case?
You know, this comes as a huge embarrassment for the Stalin government, particularly because, Nabila, for the last many weeks, there has been a demand to go ahead and ensure that there is another independent agency that probes what happened in Thanjavur. They've maintained time and again that you can ensure that there will be a 100% complete impartial investigation by the Tamil Nadu police. And it's clear that the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court simply doesn't think so. They believe that there is a need for the CBI to take over this particular case. And this is in line with what the family also has been saying. They've been saying time and again that the police cannot probe this particular case. And that's why we'll be awaiting a reaction from the DMK as to exactly what they have to say about this case being given to the Central Bureau of Investigation. Through the course of the last 1 week, when we here at India Today have also been reporting this story, every reaction from the DMK has been a defensive one. You know, every time they were asked about the parents' demand about whether there will be a fair probe, they've maintained, let the police do it. And they've completely ruled out any chance of it being handed over either to the CBI or the CBCID, which was the family's demand. But now this will leave them red-faced, because in the last few days, even if you look at how the Madras High Court has been dealing with this issue, remember this is the Madurai bench, they've been poking holes in how the investigation has been going forward. And there have been very serious questions raised, including the one that we just reported about how the NCPCR, which is the National Child Rights Body, has also questioned the investigation. They put a halt on it, and that itself shows you that there were several discrepancies that needed to be looked into, which the government simply wasn't willing to do.
Right. Akshita, stay with us. I'm going to cut across to Pramod. Pramod, there are many discrepancies in the way this case was handled by the police and the government. Of course, allegations that the police was trying to brush the real issue under the carpet. Give us an understanding on what were the protocols that weren't followed by the police.
Well, here the important aspect that the petitioner actually brought forward in the Madras High Court Madurai bench on Friday was that initially there was a 44-second video that turned viral, and then after the issue became very big in the state of Tamil Nadu, a 2.24 minutes video that was also recorded by Muthuvel became viral, and the petitioner asked how it went viral, and this is where a kind of argument broke out between the public prosecutor and the petitioner, because the public prosecutor stated that once the phone was taken from Muthuvel, it was immediately sent to the forensic lab, and there was no kind of sharing these videos, and even if the video was shared by anyone, that can actually be tracked through softwares and the culprit can be exactly identified. And the public prosecutor stated that it was neither from the police or nobody who has released the video. However, the petitioner also said that the dying declaration and the death declaration that was recorded by the magistrate, that copy also came on a magazine, and he questioned how did it become, it was released because there was only 2 copies. One was with the magistrate and the other one was submitted to the court in a sealed cover. And for that also the public prosecutor said that if all these things are given in the form of a petition, the state would reply and they will not reply for any sort of allegations. And after that only the judge said that the orders are reserved, and now we've been informed that the case has been transferred to the CBI.
Well, even as the case has now been transferred to the CBI, the family members, of course, it seems like one step towards justice for them, because they weren't satisfied with the police's investigation so far, Pramod. But I'd still go back to Akshita on this. Akshita, as much as the family says that there is a conversion angle to this, we understand that there is close to 60% of the student population in that school who are still Hindus. Not all of them were asked to convert. If this was a case, was it a one-off case?
No, there are still a lot of questions right now, Nabila, on exactly what happened. And no one's declaring this to be a case of forced religious conversion. Everyone's demanding that there be a fair, impartial investigation so we get answers on exactly what's happened. The problem here has been that in the last few days, whenever this case has been reported and every angle has been put out, the government has been hesitant on even looking at the forced religious conversion angle. So thereby there were questions on whether that particular angle is even going to be looked into. Now with the CBI stepping in, there will be questions also about finally will we see an impartial investigation happening in this particular case, and that really is the point here.
Akshita, thank you very much. I'm going to quickly cut across to Suman C. Raman, our analyst here, joining us for a little perspective. Mr. Raman, what we hear here is that the CBI has taken up this case after much request from the family members. This is now taken a complete political turn, with religious conversion being the main debating point for political parties there. BJP targeting the DMK government, saying that they are deliberately trying to brush this under the carpet because the girl was forcefully made to convert and, owing to that harassment, claimed her life.
I think Akshita summed it up very well when she actually said that the state government was not willing to even look at the religious conversion angle. No one is saying that religious conversion was the reason, or forced conversion was the reason for the girl's suicide. But the fact that the girl is on camera having said it as almost as part of a dying declaration meant that that angle at least had to be taken into account. And we had clean chits being issued by the ministers and by even the state police, local police and so on. So that was raising suspicions as to why the state government was acting in the way it did. And it is good that this matter has gone now to the CBI, and hopefully an impartial inquiry can be held. After all, the only request of all was that an impartial inquiry, free of, saying something did not happen and so on, or a ruling out various theories even before the investigation, should be held. So I think that that cause has been served now, hopefully.
Right. Mr. Raman, here a quick word on your point of view when it comes to glaring loopholes by the police while carrying out the investigation here.
Look, the police never actually came out with a categorical statement on the girl's video. Subsequently, after the mobile phone of the person who took the video was submitted to the police, more videos then surfaced. The dying declaration recorded in front of the magistrate was leaked. So I think it raised a lot of questions. I mean, why was the state government so keen to rule out the conversion angle was the real issue. Had they just said, look, we've got various versions and we are investigating and we'll come out with the answers hopefully soon, then even the need for this case to be transferred to the CBI would not have been there. So I think that the state government has sort of, shot itself in the foot on this case. And certainly it's an embarrassment for them.
All right, Mr. Raman, thank you very much for joining us with those details. I'm going to quickly cut across to Khushbu Sundar, who is a BJP leader there in Tamil Nadu. Let me get her perspective on that. Ms. Khushbu, here's the CBI that's now stepped in. They're going to be probing this the case of the 17-year-old girl who claimed her life allegedly due to religious conversion. That's what the family claims, which the police has now almost given a clean sheet, saying that there is no conversion angle to this. Your party has been protesting in Tamil Nadu. Take us through. What's your grouse?
I think the truth needs to prevail. You cannot hide the truth for very long. The ruling party in Tamil Nadu and the oppositions all over in Tamil Nadu, they were trying to give a different color to it. They were saying that we are lying and we were trying to give a political color or a religious color. But now with the Madras High Court very clearly saying that the case needs to go to CBI. It's a very clear case where CBI is going to investigate and say, I mean, you had the cops who were trying to give a different color to it, saying that there was no forced conversion, though the child had very clearly mentioned in her video. Now, who was playing politics here? Who was trying to play a religious politics here over a dead body? It's clearly the ruling party of DMK and the opposition sitting there who did not have the nerve to even speak up for the child. They were trying to brush it under the carpet by saying that there's no conversion angle to it with the police in hand. And here with the Madras High Court very clearly saying that the case needs to go to CBI, which is what we have been asking for. We didn't give any political color. All we said is we need justice for a 17-year-old child who we lost, a human life who was forced into a conversion which she had denied, and then she was subjected to kind of a very, very severe harassment which led to her a very unfortunate death. And we said we need a CBI inquiry. And here the DMK and the ruling the other aligned parties with them, they were not allowing us to go for CBI inquiry, giving a different color to it. So with CBI inquiry in order from the Madras High Court, my gratitude towards Madras High Court, because these kind of judgments actually, give the faith back. It reinstates your faith back into judiciary system. And I would like to thank them and let the justice prevail. That is what we want.
Right. Ms. Khushbu, point taken, of course, that there was a religious conversion angle to this because the girl has spoken in her dying declaration. But here's the DMK accusing the BJP of trying to communalize this, giving this a totally religious color, which is not needed. They're saying that this is the BJP's attempt to tarnish and set aside the actual cause of death. That's the accusation coming your way. If you can also give us an insight, is this a situation that prevails in Christian missionary schools where students are forced to convert? Have you heard of a situation like this in the past coming from Tamil Nadu?
Well, all we ask is, and I had already challenged the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin, I said, please give a very clear statement saying that conversions in Tamil Nadu do not happen. And he has not taken up the challenge. Ask him to say very openly that the conversions do not happen in Tamil Nadu. Forced conversions do not happen in Tamil Nadu. Let our Chief Minister be courageous enough to give a statement, open statement, and let's see how many of the people come out and speak that forced conversions do happen. Let it be in any religion. Forced conversions do happen in Tamil Nadu. We cannot brush it under the carpet. We cannot hide them. We cannot run away from them. We need to respect every religion. You have your political power. I give it to you. You have struggled for 45 years, Mr. Stalin, to come to the position you are in today. And my best wishes to you. But please understand these forced conversions do happen and you are aware of it. And
Where is it so rampant, Ms. Khushbu? You're saying it with much conviction. Where is this so rampant, forced conversions?
Let him say it. Let him say it. We are here to prove it. We stood for Lavanya, right? And here we have, for us, we have won it. Finally, the court has given a CBI inquiry. And what did we ask for? All we asked for was a CBI inquiry in Lavanya case. And that is what was hitting them very hard, that if it is transferred to CBI, then definitely the truth is going to start tumbling out of the cupboards. And this is what they're worried about. So my challenge to DMK or any other party in Tamil Nadu is, please give an open statement saying that forced conversions in any religion does not happen. They do not happen. Let them be very clear about it. Do they have the guts to do it? Do they have the courage to say that? They don't, because they know very well it happens. You have your political aspirations. You need to be in power. You need to make sure that you stay in power. All understood. But when there is a problem, you need to address it. You cannot turn a blind eye towards that. And it's they who have been giving a very communal color to it, not us.
Right. Ms. Khushbu, thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us on that story. The CBI has now taken up this case. Thank you very much, Akshita and Pramod, for giving us those insights. Here's the CBI that takes up this Controversial case of a 17-year-old girl in Thanjavur, Tamil Nadu, who's committed suicide, claiming that the warden harassed her. When asked about whether there could be a religious angle to this or forced conversion, she says there could be. Now, the CBI taking up this case further will establish, hopefully, bring justice to the girl's family.